Welcome back to ReadingBear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, Yes, I Work Here. No, I won't do side work for you. Not really sure if there's a good place per se for this story, but as this sub's tagline says, sweet Jesus, people can be stupid. Several years ago I was helping my brother run his auto repair shop. Since he's a better tech than I am and I'm a better paper pusher than he is, he was out in the shop working on a car, and I was running the office side of the operation. I recall that it was just the two of us. The other employees were out for the day because of it being a holiday weekend, so we were in skeleton crew, catch-up mode, handling some personal and low-priority stuff. A customer came in for some AC issues, so bro checked it over and relayed to me what it needed, and I built an estimate for the customer. I don't recall the exact dollar amount, but it was a pretty big, expensive job, despite our having among the most reasonable pricing in town. Gave the customer the estimate and he left. Well, left the office anyway. He went into the shop. I watched him for a moment with a "WTH is he doing?" before my attention was pulled to a ringing phone. A few minutes later bro came into the office. Once I was off the phone, bro explained what happened. That customer that left the office and headed into the shop proper had come to him and asked him if he'd be interested in doing the repair work on the side. He had said to the customer, "Didn't he give you an estimate?" Customer had replied, "Yeah, but they're too damn expensive here. I can buy the parts if you want to do it." First off, in our state at the time, Florida, auto repair is a regulated industry that requires state licensing, so shade tree work is actually illegal statewide, with some specific exceptions like fleet maintenance for your employer. You must be state licensed to do any repairs for any form of compensation, including trades. Second, doing side work in the auto repair industry can get you fired from some shops, as by doing so you're competing with your own employer, stealing a prospective customer, etc. Third, asking the owner of the shop to do side work because you don't want to pay the shop to do the work is probably not going to end well. Bro said that the moment he told the customer, "You do realize I'm the owner, right? The guy in the office is my brother," the color drained from his face and he couldn't get gone fast enough. Never saw that customer again, strangely enough. The next one is titled, I don't work in this department, also stop being racist. M equals me from marketing, white SP equals great salesperson who happens to be Middle Eastern, K equals racist Karen, WS equals white salesperson. So I work at a big retail store and I was walking the floor heading to my office in marketing. K, hello, I bought a cabinet here and I think I got the wrong color handles, could you show me where it is? M, I'm not from this department, but look, here is SP, she will be able to help you find that piece. SP, how are you doing today? How can I help you today? K, refusing to take her eyes off me. No, this guy is helping me. SP, ma'am, he works in marketing, he doesn't know where product is on the floor, but I would be pleased to help you find the cabinet. K, with some desperation in her voice, can't you just please help me? M, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have the first idea where the cabinet is located. SP is one of our best salespeople in this department and she'll be able to help you find it quickly. SP, sadly realizing what is happening, it has happened before, you know ma'am, actually I am really busy, but please don't bother M anymore, he has plenty to do. I've just noticed that WS is nearby and can help. She motions to WS, who we both know. WS, I'd be happy to assist SP, one of our finest salespeople, it would be an honor. SP and I shared a smile and thanked WS later for that extra dig at the end. It's sad that we got caught up in this. The next one is titled, I guess I have one of those faces? So for starters, I do actually work in retail but rarely visit other stores wearing my company uniform, as I find I attract a lot of people asking me questions even when in my civvies. Also for background, I have a side art business working at nerdy conventions, etc. I have two examples that stand out in my mind. The first, my husband had his friend from out of town over and they tend to talk exclusively about hockey. I didn't have much to add to these conversations, so decided to head out to find some storage containers for my con stuff. I was browsing the craft section of Walmart when this old, like 70-year-old, woman stops and asks me where something is. Now I'm confused as I'm wearing a black and white baseball tee and jeans, no blue or yellow or any vest in sight, and tend to avoid going to Walmart as their competition to the store I work for. I tell her, sorry, I don't actually work here, so I don't know, and she just kinda sneers at me and says, oh. Well, you look like you do. And shuffles away. It still has me wondering what she meant by, you look like you work here. The second, my husband and I were in my hometown for one of the aforementioned nerd conventions. We were having some issues with setup because part of the display broke. I decided to run to the hardware store just down the street to grab some crazy glue. Now this is another store I rarely go to, but this time because I don't really do much building, fixing that would require me to go into a hardware store. It takes me longer than expected since A, I don't shop there often, and B, because this store is set up differently than the one in the city in which I live, but I finally find the glues and head toward the front to pay. As I'm just getting in line, this couple stops me and asks where the carts are. Confused, I repeat the question back to them, before replying, sorry, I don't actually work here and am from out of town, so I don't know. They stare at me blankly and said, oh well, we thought you did because of your tag. They point at my vendor pass for the convention, which was still around my neck on a lanyard, and I tell them as much before walking away, wondering how my grey MCR t-shirt could have possibly been mistaken for the bright red polos for which this company is known, and wherein all their advertisements. The next one is titled, I do work there, but I don't work in this bush. Before I start this, I will say I support mask wearing. This isn't about that, this is about a Karen being a Karen and killing my vibe. I wear a mask 10 to 12 hours a day and I'm fine with it. They don't make you sick or give you 5G or whatever, that's just bonkers. I do research at a med school at a university in a state that has handled COVID pretty well. We've had very strict guidelines, building at 30% capacity at all times, shifts with off hours so we don't work at the same time as colleagues, disinfect and sanitize common lab equipment 3 times a day, and of course mask wearing the whole time. I support this. I've done this 5 days a week for 3 months. With the college kids coming back, the university has implemented a mask rule on campus. If you're on campus, you have to wear a mask. No biggie, I've been doing that this whole time. Put on my mask when I leave my apartment, take it off when I get back. However, I do not wear a mask when I'm out jogging because that's not practical, and I run through neighborhoods and can keep 6+ apart from people easily. Today I decided to run with my dog, and honestly that may have been where I went wrong. He's very cute, that wasn't the problem, and unforeseen Karen was the problem. So we were running along and he decided to poop because that's what dogs do. I had bags ready, picked it up, and started walking to the doggy poop can at the entrance to the park we were going to, probably 2 minutes walk away. I was walking, 1, because I was tired and an excuse, and 2, because I didn't want to run with dog poop bag in my hand. I just crossed into a residential neighborhood and was passing the last gas station on the corner before it became houses and then the park. Ahead of me I see 2 campus health and safety people walking towards me. Not cops, not security, no badges, just walkie-talkies. My dog starts sniffing at a bush, so I just follow him to give ample room for them to pass because the sidewalk was kind of narrow. He's sniffing and they keep getting closer, so I kind of put my body into the bush face first to let them pass with social distance because they should walk by us in 1.5 seconds. I hear one of them stop and pet my dog and say, "Oh, what a beautiful boy," which isn't unusual, as I said he's super cute. I say, "Yeah, he is," hoping they'd keep walking because my body was halfway in an 8 feet, approximately 2.5 meters maybe, don't quote me on that, tall bush. They did not keep walking, they stopped, masks on, staring at me. They said, "Hello," I gave a nice, howdy. The woman, who I soon learned is a Karen, said to me, "Do you know about the university's policy that all people wear a mask on campus?" Turning out of the bush to face them, who were deaf only like 3 feet from me, like that's on you not to socially distance, I'm in a bush. I said, "I work for the university, I do know, I wear a mask all day every day. Are we on university campus?" To which she looked around and responded, "Well no, but since you work for the university I could cite you and report to your department your failure to comply." I thought of all my internet training for a comeback and I said, "Ma'am, this is a 7-Eleven, gesturing behind me at the gas station whose bushes I was still very much in, and they were the scratchy kind." Her brow furrowed as she said, "That doesn't matter, it's university policy that." At that point I'd had enough and my dog was yanking, so I said, "The magic works, alright let's go," and he took off and I used that to push past them and went on with my jog. Dog poop jangling in my hand. The next one is titled, Old Story from 10 Years Ago, Heya. I recently started listening to Reddit stories on YouTube, and that's when I realized this sub existed. This story is from about 10 years ago. I was 20 at the time, and I was still playing airsoft. I'm from Hungary originally, I live in the Netherlands now, and this story happened there. So like I said, at the time I was still playing airsoft, as my mum would put it, cowboys and Indians in military uniform, and the story took place after a Saturday spent in an old sand quarry shooting at each other. Literally, from 0900 in the morning until about 1900, that's 7 p.m, we are running around playing semi-seriously, but very intensely. This was in June or July, I can't exactly recall, and it was hot outside. I was not exactly high on cash and I had other hobbies too, so I was always playing the insurgent side, which meant I could just wear my mishmash of gear and weaponry against the military guys who were always kitted out with full uniforms and matching gear. Anyway, I was wearing army green BDU pants with the big side pockets, a knockoff USMC t-shirt and Bundeswehr modern German army boots that were literally falling apart at this point. The game was out of town, so a friend of mine was driving me, and two other guys, one of whom was a cop IRL, important later, to and from the game. On the way back, all four of us being extremely swamp-ass, we decided to stop by a Tesco to grab something to eat and drink. The game actually went on for longer than anyone thought it would and we all ran out of snacks and water. We went in, I went to grab myself an energy drink and some snacks. As I'm browsing the energy drinks, someone yells, in the most rude tone and manner, Hungarian has formal and informal forms, at me, finally. Hey you! Help me out. I'm really tired at this point, and this confuses me. I look around and see a fat dirty woman, about 50, the equivalent of what Americans would call white trash, staring at me. Yes, you. I've been looking for an employee for 10 minutes, you guys must all be hiding in the back. I respond, huh? I'm really not sharp at this point. Remember, we're in a Tesco, those guys have uniforms that is blue and red and I'm in fatigues. She goes off on a tirade of how useless store employees are and starts berating me. Like I said, being tired and generally somewhat awkward, I just stand there, weathering the storm, when the cop guy comes around the aisle and sees us. He knows I know military protocol and calls out, Sergeant. What's going on? I instinctively stand to attention, pivot towards him and respond, I don't know, sir, I have no idea. The woman, at this point, just stops dead in her tracks. She stares at cop guy, who is by the way similarly dressed as me, in army pants and a combat shirt, then back at me. Ma'am, I'd appreciate it if you could leave my subordinate be. He says. The woman goes, but he's been rude to me, what? I haven't spoken a word other than what I replied to cop guy. Ma'am, I know for a fact that that isn't true. If you don't stop, I'll activate myself. Cops have to declare themselves to activate their duty to take any official action if they are off duty in Hungary, and I'll charge you with harassment. The woman is speechless, her mouth literally agape. He turns to me, come on Sergeant, we're leaving, we walk away. We have a good laugh about it in the car and from then on, cop guy and the two others jokingly call me Sergeant sometimes even though I never actually got to serve in the military or the police. I wanted to, that's why I knew how to respond to cop guy, but I'm immediately unfit. The next one is titled, Are You Blind or Stupid? Apparently both. Meet the cast, me, Op, Karen, K, Manager, M. This happened last week, 3rd month into the lockdown in my country. Had a long and overall crap-tea day with events that will be revealed later. I decided to go to a market to get some supplies for the upcoming shift. I had a full day shift that day, FML, and on my phone talking to my superior asking what they need from the store. Went into the chips section and picking up about 4 packets of chips and started to walk away when I heard the infamous throat clearing that can only come from the guardian of hell herself, Karen. Thinking to myself, I can't be this unlucky today, turning around to a 5'2" woman around 45 years old. Conversation ensues. Op, can I help you? K, yes, where is the item? I don't know Op, I think it's 2 aisle over. K, how could you not know? Why does this store even hire idiots like you? Op, I'm sorry but I have to know, are you blind or stupid by chance? K, how F*** king dare you call me blind? Storming off thinking it was the end of it, oh how wrong I was. She came back, with a manager in tow looking smug. She sees me on my phone so grabbed my phone and threw it on the ground, same phone I'm using to type this out just with the screen replaced. The manager comes up to me and realization set in for him and understand how bad the situation is at this point. Op, turning to manager, get why I called her blind. M. Looking at me as his face turns from confusion to containing his laugh. Props to him, he kept professional when even I had a hard time keeping quiet. Ma.am. This man clearly doesn't work here. K. Then why is he in a uniform? Op. Ma.am. Take a good hard look at me from head to toe and then ask again. Karen looking at my uniform and face turning from red to as pale as printing paper. Context: my uniform is a dark blue beret, dark blue button-up, dark blue pants, and the piece of resistance, my belt that had my sidearm holster with my sidearms clearly inside, a taser, handcuff holster and spare magazine holsters all on my belt along with my M4 rifle slung on my neck. I am a narcotics officer who literally got off a tragic case and getting snacks for my teammates. Op. Seeing your reaction, literal gold. If only I could release the body cam footage. Blew it. I'm going to give you two options right now. Pay me back what my phone cost or I'm going to arrest you for harassment, theft of property and damages to property. Karen, now realizing what she had done, turned tail and ran. Of course I had no choice but to chase and tackle her. She was able to get loose for that split second and uses her chance to take a box of cereal, I crap you not, and attacked me, so I tasered her and cuffed her. Called in a unit nearby cause even after handcuffed, she still fights back, kicking, headbutting, and even when her ankles were cuffed, she tried to get away like a cartoon caterpillar. Eventually my partner shows up and uses a BOAR cuff, a type of cuff that once done properly, will force the suspect arms and legs to be bound like natives taking a boar, hence the name, to subdue her, and it took both of us just to get her in the cruiser. Tired of this, I just told my partner to explain her rights to her and I walked back into the store and got all the things I need, paid and left. She was a repeat offender, so this event just added to her previous charges. She is booked for court tomorrow. I'll post the results, but I can bet it's going to be guilty to all charges. The next one is titled, A Pre-Karen Meme. Karen in the Wild. Hey. First time posting, my apologies now for any lingo that isn't right. Background: I'm from the UK and this happened to me about 10 years ago. Reading other people's stories, I thought I would add my one to the mix. So I worked in a shopping mall for a small independent chain. They made alternative clothing, mainly. My uniform consisted of a t-shirt with the store's logo on the front. Shop was called Punky Fish, so it was of a fish that resembled a slightly altered anglerfish, with a chain and an eyebrow piercing. The t-shirt was black, fish and writing in gold with studs on it. It also read, Punky Fish, how can I help you? Punky Fish on the back. You could wear anything on the bottom half. My go-to was crushed velvet leggings and Converse at the time. Anyway. To get to my store I would usually park in a multi-storey space, and walk through one of the big department stores that were always connected to it. This time was the turn of Marks and Spencer's. Any non-UK residents who are not familiar, it is an old-fashioned shop, with clothing, homeware, food and beauty products. Their uniform is a black and green gilet, polo or shirt with smart trousers and shoes. This is important. Walking through I have my bag in hand, as well as McDonald's I had picked up on the drive-through and a drink in the other. Here goes the story. Players me, M and Karen, KM, walking through the store minding own business, drinking drink, stops a sec to check my phone. K, sharp finger prodding me in my shoulder, excuse me. M, turns to see angry Karen, bit taken back because of the prodding, yes? K, did you not hear me or something? I've been chasing you through the store. M, remembers hearing someone shouting excuse me several times. I heard you, yes, but didn't realize it was for me. What's the matter? Thinking, maybe I dropped something or whatever. K, face now red, purple, what's the matter? Is that how you speak to customers? This is disgraceful. First of all you ignore me, then instead of, how can I help you? You say, what's the matter? M, I hate confrontation. The penny hadn't dropped yet that she thinks I work here. Okay, how can I help you? K, still angry, I want this in size S4. My daughter. There is no size S. Get 1 for me. M, penny dropped, miss. I don't work here. K, this was obviously the wrong answer. You're wearing a t-shirt that says, how can I help you? M, yes, it also says, Punky Fish. Twice. It also has it on the front. I do not work here. K, apparently I pressed some sort of murder button, talking back the same way she had to me. This is ridiculous. I am a paying customer. I don't care what your TSHIRT says. I need a size small for my daughter. At this time, enough commotion had gone on that a member of staff come over, in full uniform. MOS, what is going on here? K, this girl will not assist me, I want to speak with whoever is in charge. This is ridiculous, rudeness and bad customer service. MOS, looks at me, looks at my uniform. Miss, she doesn't work here. M, starting to wonder why I am still standing here, looks at the MOS and smiles. I'm going to get to work now, can I leave her with you? Sarcastic grin. MOS, nods. K, you can't go anywhere until we speak with the manager. M, okay, well, my shop is out the side door by the restaurant and up towards Starbucks. My manager isn't in today, but I will let the assistant manager know you'll be by to complain about clothes we don't stock and my attitude. It was at this time I left the poor MOS with Karen and made my way to my actual place of work. I didn't look back, but I could still hear her shouting about behavior, rude staff, incompetent, shouldn't be wearing tops that say you can help, sorry MOS that I left you with her. I explained the story to my assistant manager, we laughed and she said, well, if she turns up I will be sure to let her know I let you have a verbal warning not to be rude to customers in Marks and Spencer's. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please subscribe and post some star emojis in the comments to support me. See you again tomorrow.